I was in love with the way that sunflowers worship the sun, how they rise with the sun and then they follow the sun around. I thought that was such a beautiful representation of love and relationships.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing a review of Rupi Kaur's second book in her poetry collection called The Sun and Her Flowers. I did a review of her book Milk and Honey just over a year ago, and that's up on my channel, so I will link it here. And I've been so excited for her second book to come out, so now that it's finally here, I read it in about 2 days. I don't think I like one of them more than the other. They're both just so incredible. So as you can see, I've flagged quite a bit of pages. The first poem I have flagged is just a really nice little reminder, and there's a few of them in this book that I've flagged and really liked. And this one just says, "You do not just wake up and become the butterfly," and it's called Growth is a Process. So I thought that was just a really nice one because it's such a good reminder of just like how hard we can be on ourselves and that it's important to be patient. I love her metaphors and her analogies. It's just so beautiful and so creative. I love the way that she tells her stories. And the second one I wanted to share is really long. I think it's about 3 pages. But if you have the book, it starts on 94 and it goes until 96. And it's called The Art of Growing. And this one I think almost brought me to tears, and it's just so powerful because the message is so real. She's really just talking about how the way her body changed and like how girls' bodies change, and how she's realizing that the world has since started to treat her differently. So boys, men, maybe other girls. And there's a few passages in here that I really loved. "I can't wrap my head around the fact that I have to convince half the world's population, men, my body is not their bed. I am busy learning the consequences of womanhood when I should be learning science and math instead. I like cartwheels and gymnastics, so I can't imagine walking around with my thighs pressed together like they're hiding a secret. As if the acceptance of my own body parts will invite thoughts of lust in their heads. I will not subject myself to their ideology, because slut-shaming is rape culture. Virgin praising is rape culture." That is like very powerful, and the whole poem is that same tone, and it's just so powerful to read that, especially as like a young woman. People just like put the blame on women because they think that the way that we dress or the way we act is like an opportunity for these terrible things to happen to some women, and it's just so awful. I wish just everyone could read, and then I wish that everybody could just start an entirely different conversation about sexual assault, harassment, rape culture, anything like that, because this just expresses so much frustration that I'm sure so many girls relate to. The next one is hopefully a little less heavy. It is a little bit. This one is on page 100, and it says, "Wish pure love and soft peace upon the ones who have been unkind to you and keep moving forward." And it's called This Will Free You Both. And I always write little notes when I read her book. Sometimes it leads me to writing longer poems, but I'm not going to share those because those are just like immediate thoughts of whatever is in my head put out onto paper. But I do write little notes inside of my book, and I wrote, "A good reminder, but sometimes hard to do," which I think is really, really true, because when people disrespect us or are unkind to us, we don't want to return anything positive to them. You know, like if they've hurt us, we're not going to turn around and be nice to them, but it is a very important thing to do. And even though it's so hard, I admire people who can do it all the time, who don't turn around with the same disrespect. And of course, sometimes there are opportunities or there are situations that you need to stand up for yourself, and it's like completely okay to do that. But this is just a good reminder to try to be the positive and bigger person and still treat people kindly even if they've done you wrong. Now we're in rooting, and this was my favorite section. Some of the sections I've loved so much because I've related to them so much, or I feel like there's little pieces of my own stories in her writing. But this one is really about her background, her parents, and how her parents gave her a different life than they had as an immigrant family. And even though that's nothing I can relate to, like I've lived in Canada my whole life, at the end of this poem I wrote, "I am crying," because it honestly, the first time I read it, I was just like, holy shit. So it's called Broken English. It's really, really long, but at the end of it, I'll read the passage that just kind of explains it the most. So it says, "How dare you mock your mother when she opens her mouth and broken English spills out. Don't be ashamed of the fact that she split through countries to be here so you wouldn't have to cross a shoreline. Her accent is thick like honey. Hold it with your life. It's the only thing she has left of home. Don't you stomp on that richness. Instead, hang it up on the walls of museums next to Dali and Van Gogh." So this poem really, I think moved me so much because it's, as I said before, it's honestly nothing I can relate to. I don't have a family that left their home country to give me a different life in a different place. I feel like this poem just taught me so much, even though it's only 3 pages long, but it just shed so much insight into what her life might have been like and how her parents sacrificed so much. And it was just so powerful because I can't even imagine how hard that would be. This one is really important to me because it's pretty much just about not surrounding yourself with people who either drain you, disrespect you, don't treat you the way you deserve, but you're giving them all of your light and love and positivity. So it says, "I do not need the kind of love that is draining. I want someone who energizes me." But it's so important to just be aware of the way people are treating you and know what you deserve, because you do not deserve anyone who is draining you. This is a topic that I feel like I could talk about for a long time, and I've actually wanted to make a video about it before because I've just seen so many people close to me be treated like shit from people or stay in things that are not right for them, and deep down I think they know that, but they just go through them anyways. So this is one of those really good reminders that she puts in some of her poetry, so I really, really like this one. This one is called Checklist. But pretty much what it's about is just, okay, this one made me think of you know how people say oh, what's on your list for someone that you might date or or even in a friendship, what are the things that you look for or want someone to be like? And I used to think about this and be I don't have one of those, and I don't really think that people should, because you never know who you're gonna fall in love with or be friends with, or who will come into your life, and if they don't have certain things that in your mind you think they should have, it's that's such a stupid excuse to not get to know someone. But this one is kind of a different checklist, but still very important. And I feel when you're in a relationship that's very strong and there's lots of love and stuff, whether that's friendship or a romantic relationship, I feel this checklist would just be a very nice thing to think of. I would be foolish not to ask myself 20 years from now, is this person going to be someone I still laugh with, or am I just distracted by their charm? Do I see us evolving into new people by the decade, or does the growing ever come to a pause? I don't want to be distracted by the looks or the money. I want to know if they pull the best or the worst out of me. Deep at the core are our values the same. In 30 years, will we still jump into bed like we're 20? Can I picture us in old age, conquering the world like we've got young blood running in our veins? I love all of Rupi Kaur's writing, and I will buy every book that she puts out. I'm actually going to see her live, I think it's November 12th. So I'm so excited for that. I am going to be probably crying. Seeing her live is going to be just an entirely beautiful, powerful experience. I will see you all in my next video, which is coming very soon. So thank you so much for watching this video, and if you've watched any of my other videos, thanks so much again. And if you would like to, you can subscribe and give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you all very soon. Bye.